The Cultural Cube resource is exploring multiculturalism and also our native culture. So in environment appreciation, I have looked at visual arts and science, exploring the environment and Aboriginal people's connection to land through the arts. The process would be through having the students explore a native um, park. They're allowed to walk around and look at the native Australian plants and wildlife. The students then discuss what they saw, what they've heard, what they've smelt. As discussed by Judson and Egan 2012, engaging students' imaginations within the curriculum is one of the key ways to successfully cater for learning, and that's what it's intended to do. It's intended to provoke critical thinking about the environment, and make connections to other things they've done in the curriculum. Students are then given the opportunity to take photos of the native flora and fauna, looking at what they've seen around them, and also delving deeper into that Aboriginal connection to land. What are the sort of things these plants and wildlife mean to the Indigenous people of Australia, and also how they might have been used back before colonisation. The students are then scaffolded by the teacher to make connections to land and use their prior knowledge of the environment and science and the Indigenous perspective on land, as discussed by Wilkes 2003. This is an effective way to foster students' thinking and examination of critical relationships that exist between cultures and the differences that are experienced in cultures, and our connection to land is different to Indigenous people's connection to land, which is also different from other cultures' connection to their land, and just coming up with critical discussions about that. This is linked to the visual arts curriculum, as it allows the students to explore and respond to the natural environment. So the park and the students exploring the environment is a way to provoke them into discussion and some critical thinking about both visual arts and science, and getting that cross-curricular look at Indigenous perspectives on land. So they explore their natural environment through the arts, through looking and observing and then taking the images, which links to creating and making, as they are creating and making artworks and photographs of their experience at the park. It connects to the science curriculum. This is evident with the quotes that I've put up. So people use science in their everyday lives, including when caring for their environment and living things. So having discussion with them, how does the park cater for the natural environment? What does it have to support the native animals here? Does it have high trees for the birds or koalas or other animals? The shrubs, are they for the smaller animals to protect themselves? And having sort of discussion when taking photos of the connection to science as well. So making that comparison of, oh, that tree is so beautiful and big, well, what animals would live in there, and why do you think the park's been designed that way? And science involves exploring and observing the world and using the senses, so provoking them to discuss what they've seen, what they've heard, what they've smelt, what they've felt, and then also thinking about how it makes them feel to be in this environment is a scientific exploration of an environment, and also looking at the beauty and connecting it back to art. The cross-curricular opportunity is with the Indigenous perspective and connection to land, and discussing the cultural part of Indigenous people having a strong connection to land. As discussed by Keeler and Cousin 2010, Indigenous people have a strong connection to land and an innate connection to the earth. So discussing how that's different to Western views of land. And also, it also links to developing the thinking process. So allowing students to explore their environment and critically think and make connections is a really important part of the environmental exploration. As discussed by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, everyone has the right to freely participate in cultural life of the community, to enjoy the arts and to share in scientific advancements and its benefits. So this demonstrates the connection between cultural life, community, the arts and science, and how they're all important human rights, and connecting them just feels really organic in this way. So that's what I really liked about what the students will be doing. They really are getting to see the benefit of the arts and the science and explore cultural life and community and alternative perspectives. So this experience can be catered for by Bloom's taxonomy, so developing that higher order thinking through questioning to cater for the range of students' needs in the experience, and to really develop that critical and higher order thinking in the classroom. As discussed by Eisner 2002, it is important to assess the process and not place emphasis on the product. So making sure you're assessing the experience the students are having, their reflection, their critical thinking, what they're seeing, what they're feeling, what they're hearing, and the experience the students are going through, opposed to the images they produce. Even though they're a really good insight into what the students saw, but they can really be used as a prompt to discuss, well, what did you learn in that experience? How does that connect to science, Indigenous perspectives, and developing that critical thinking and placing emphasis on the experience. And this links to Dewey's art as an experience. We don't learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on the experience. So the experience will occur, but it will be the continual referring back to that will really develop students' needs. As discussed by Schuster 2010, engaging in living interactions with the natural environment and making a context and purpose creates a more fulfilling life. It's through experience of making art we learn, and not the final product. So this is really pushed in this art experience. And this also links to Karloff. Tell me I forget, show me I remember, involve me I understand. And that's something that I really thought about when developing this experience for students. It's the experience and connecting the visual arts to the science curriculum, and integrating all of these aspects of the curriculum with Indigenous perspectives that the students will learn, and through this one experience and then reflecting on this one experience, they will develop greater knowledge and understanding. And I think that overall this will be a fantastic experience to have in the classroom. I believe environmental appreciation part of the multicultural cube demonstrates the way you can effectively incorporate science into the visual arts curriculum, and also incorporate the cross-curricular link of Indigenous perspectives and connection to land. This experience incorporates some major theorists like Eisner and Dewey and Karl Orff, and incorporates the idea of art as an experience opposed to assessing students' final product. I believe this activity would be fantastic in a primary classroom in art and both in science, because it allows the students to engage in a fun and exciting way in the arts and science, and would be easily scaffolded through Bloom's taxonomy, through questioning and developing those higher order and critical thinking skills. I hope you enjoyed my process video. Thank you.